So Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our weekly deep dive into the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter 2. And we are on our concluding verse. And then we'll have one more summary class that covers the whole chapter and see if there are any other points that we can dig out. But this is the last verse. Why does Krishna appear in this world? The avatar verse. So let me just pull it up. One second. Share screen. Where's the share button? Oh, where did the share button go? Okay, now the share button's back. Okay. All right. All right, you guys can see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhavayati Esha Satvena Lokan Vai Loka Bhavanaha Lila Avataran Anurato Devya Tiran Naradishu. Question for you, Dana K. Do you remember what the word Adi means? Adi. We did the Adidas t-shirt. Remember the Adidas?
Yes.
The Adi means the original. Like Govinam Adi Purusham.
It's all come back now.
Yeah. It also means headed by, started with, like we have this song that we sing in the evening. Kiba Jayo Jayo Gora Chandera Rotiko Shobha Janavi Tattavane Chagamana Lobha. And then there are many lines that have this word Adi in there. Dakine Nitaichan. Brahma Adi. So it means all the demigods are there, headed by Brahma. So the word Adi can mean like headed by, or and so forth and so on, like starting with. So Devya Tiran Naradishu means the demigods, the animals, and the humans, and so on. These are saying basically all different kind of species of life. Thus, the Lord of the universes maintains all planets inhabited by demigods. Deva. Tiryak means lower animals. The demigods men, that's Nara, and lower animals, Tiryak. Assuming the roles of incarnation, he performs pastimes to reclaim those who are in the mode of goodness. Purport. There are innumerable material universes, and in each and every universe, there are innumerable planets inhabited by different grades of living entities and different modes of nature. The Lord, Vishnu, incarnates himself in each and every one of them, and in each and every type of living society. He manifests his transcendental pastimes amongst them, just to create the desire to go back to Godhead. So this is like the Lord's traveling tour. He's like sometimes you have traveling concerts. Sometimes you have traveling politicians, traveling inspirational speakers. And so Krishna is traveling from one universe to another in unlimited forms of incarnation, just to create the desire to go back to Godhead. The Lord does not change his original transcendental position, but he appears to be differently manifested according to the particular time, circumstance, and society. Sometimes he incarnates himself or empowers a suitable living entity to act for him. But in either case, the purpose is the same. The Lord wants the suffering living beings to go back home, back to Godhead. The happiness of the living beings are the happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within any corner of the innumerable universes and material planets. So what is it George Harrison says? Everyone is looking for Krishna, but most don't know it. So what we're looking for is not to be found here. The eternal happiness for which the living being wants to obtain is in the kingdom of God. But the forgetful living beings under the influence of the material mode have no information of the kingdom of God. The Lord therefore comes to propagate the message of the kingdom of God, either personally as an incarnation or through his bona fide representation as the good Son of God. So you've heard of the story of the prodigal son. There's one son who left the house of the father, and when he left the house of the father, he found himself to be in a horrible situation. Radha Govinda Dasi. Do you remember where did this prodigal son, where did he end up? It's a biblical story. Do you know this one?
It's a biblical story, you said?
Yes, yeah. The
I have
prodigal.
no idea about Bible. Is it like Jesus?
Let's see, Dana K, do you know prodigal son?
I know it. Yes, but I have to remember it.
What was his family's home like? Was it like a tiny house or a big house?
No, wasn't it big house?
Yeah, he was living in a nice, wealthy home. And then where did he end up living?
Didn't he leave?
In a pig's pen.
Yeah.
Like
now I remember. Sorry, my memory is so horrible, isn't it?
So he was living with pigs. He was living in a pig's pen. You know, he went from mansion to a pig's pen, all because he had some independence issues. He wanted to be independent. And here's another story from the Bible. It's a story of Lucifer. Where was he living before? Radha Govinda.
He was in heaven.
Yes. And then where did he move
Okay, that
to?
one I know. And then he ended up being in hell, no? He
Yeah,
fell. Okay, good.
So was that a good move?
Well, actually, it's the opposite of what people usually want, right?
Yeah, so it's not a good location.
No, not at all.
And so there's prodigal son. He left the mansion to move to the pig's pen because of why he wanted independence. Then Lucifer, he moved from heaven to hell because he had envy towards God. And there's one more story. How about Adam and Eve? Where was Adam and Eve living before? What was it called? The Garden of
Heaven?
Garden of Eden.
Oh, Eden. Oh, yes.
So there it was. Everything was beautiful and sublime. They had no needs. They were happy, satisfied. And then they fell down from their position. And so they again, so all three of them, when moved, their situation changed. One was because they wanted independence, and the other one was because of envy. You know, the snake told Adam, if you eat this apple, you be as powerful as God. So he has some envy there, some jealousy. So the soul in this world, in the same way, we are trying to enjoy separately from God. We are trying to enjoy separately, and we have thus been moved. We've been moved out of the spiritual world and out of our spiritual consciousness. Although Krishna is actually, this world is all Krishna's energy, we are completely unaware of that. We're in complete illusion or maya. But just like the kind king may go to the prison house and go to the prisoners and try to give them good instruction so that they can be qualified to exit this prison, Krishna is coming and attracting us with his Leela, with his words, Bhagavad Gita, and with the examples of his great devotees to encourage us to become qualified to be outside of the prison of the material world. So therefore the Lord comes to propagate this message of the kingdom of God, either personally or as incarnation, through his bona fide representation as the good Son of God. Such incarnations are sons of God, are not making propaganda for going back to Godhead only within human society. The work is going on in all types of societies, amongst demigods and those other than human beings. So Krishna is preaching in all different societies. If you read, I think it is maybe 5th canto or 4th canto, there's descriptions of these prayers that are given by the Gandharvas, and then there's prayers by the Kinnaras, and there's all these different societies of beings, and they're all glorifying the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is appearing in various ways. He appears as a fish, so he preached to the fish society. He has unlimited, actually as unlimited as there are waves on the ocean. He has unlimited incarnation. Here's the Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Let's read what he says. His translation is: the Lord, the creator of the universe, absorbing himself in the forms of various Leela avatars as the devatas, animals, and humans, protects the world through his role as the controller of Sattva Guna. Commentary. This is by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. It has been described that the Lord appears in many forms when he enters all the living beings. However, the Lord is without limitation or material contamination in all of his forms. So although he may, so imagine Radha Govinda Dasi goes to Vrindavan, and she is like, oh, I love Vrindavan. So beautiful, so sweet. But even in Vrindavan, if there is some hog in the open sewer and he starts shaking the water, the filthy poop mixed water off his back, you are going to be running and screaming away. You don't want to get any of that splashed on you. But the prayers of the demigods, they're showing that there is a pig incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Varaha, and his name is just Lord Boar incarnation. His name is just Boar. And when the water sprinkles off of his body, they're like, oh, we're being sanctified, purified, because the Lord is Vishuddha Sattva. He is not without any kind of limitation or material contamination. They're feeling completely purified by being sprinkled by the water of this transcendental pig avatar. So this is the difference between. So here the Sutta Goswami is clarifying these points about the Lord. As previously it says, guna. What is this? Taya vilasiteshveshu guneshu gunavaniva antapravisha avati vijnanena vijrimbitaha. So the Lord He enters these three modes of nature. He enters this world, but he is still in a completely pure position. Vishuddha Sattva. So here it says, Bhavayati. So he appears in many forms in his Swarupa, in his eternal pastime, his own actual form. And Bhavayati, he protects, or it means he bestows them with prema, bhava. So it has two different meanings there. This verse describes the normal goal of the avatar, Lokabhavana. Here means the creator of the universe instead of the protector of the world. To avoid redundant meanings, since Bhavyati Lokan means protector of the world. So why does Krishna appear? What verse in the Bhagavad Gita tells why does Krishna appear? Radha Govinda.
That's a good question.
It's a very famous verse.
I'm assuming it's at the beginning of the book, or maybe middle.
Fourth
Definitely,
chapter.
it's not on the end.
Fourth chapter. Every Indian knows this verse.
Okay, which one is it?
There's Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. First it's Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhyutanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Shijamya. Whenever there's a rise of religion and decline of spiritual practice, at that time I disavow myself. And then he follows Parichanaya Sadhunam. Parichanaya. Chanaya, Chayate, Kshatriya, Mantra. This Chayate means to protect. Parichanaya Sadhunam, to protect the sadhus. In Vinashaya, to Duskritam, and to get rid of the bad elements, the Duskritis, to destroy the miscreants. Yes, Radha Govinda.
So basically, he appears in this world every time there is a break in religion, or there is like too much predominance of irreligion, just to reestablish it.
Yes, but he can do a lot of that by his own shaktis or energies. So primarily, the first reason is the Parichanaya Sadhana, to protect his devotees. And what is he's really actually protecting his devotees is in the most esoteric, highest sense, is they long for his association. So when they're longing for his association, he comes and kindly manifests his form. Because he can protect his devotees without his avatar. He can get rid of the bad elements of society. He can just go, okay, you this guy, heart attack, bye. You know. But he really appears to give his darshan, his sangha, his relationship with his devotees. That is primarily his appearance. And to encourage, I see it here, it says in the purport, to encourage others. Now we have here Viva Goswami's commentary. This verse speaks about Vishnu. The previous verses have been shown the Lord as Paramatma among the three forms of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The Brahman and Bhagavan features will be shown later. So this verse actually is leading into the third chapter. The third chapter is a list of all avatars. And then after listing all the avatars in the third chapter, it follows by saying, Ete chamsa sakala pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. In GI, I forget the second part. These first two lines are very important. This is what is called the Paribhasya Sutra. Paribhasya Sutra. Have you heard of that term? So Paribhasya Sutra is the essential verse of the entire book. So out of 18,000 verses, this is the essential verse. That's coming in the third chapter. Text, it should be text number 27. This is like if you want to unlock a safe, or if you want to understand a mystery. Like for example, when you were a kid, they indicate when you were a kid, did they have on the cereal boxes like they would have like kind of like these red, like these 3D glasses, and you put the glasses on and you could see, ooh, you could see like the mystery, like some kind of hidden message. Did you ever have that? Yes, no, maybe so.
I did.
You did? Okay, yes.
Yes. And then you could turn them around and see different forms.
Yes, yes. They're usually like red or something like. So this is the secret key by which it unlocks everything in the Bhagavatam. It's actually the kind of standard by which you check if there is some question or confusion, then this is the key to unlock it. This is the key to, oh, I think Dana K just got kicked out. She got a maybe bad connection. So this is the key that shows like, sometimes there's is Vishnu incarnation of Krishna, or who's this or who's that. If you want to kind of have like a basis to understand everything, because there's so much information. So what's the kind of what's the point which everything is being examined from? And that is this verse. And that verse is Ete Shamsa Sakala Pumsa Krishna Tu Bhagavan Swayam. So after listing all the various avatars, a whole big list of avatars, I think it was like 26 or more different avatars. Ete Chamsa Sakalapumsa. He says these avatars appear from the Purusha avatar, the Purusha forms, the three Purushas. That is called Mahavishnu or Karanadakshay Vishnu, who universes come out of his pores. Then there's Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from whom Brahma is born. He enters one universe, and he is just around the size of the universe, much smaller than Karanadakshay Vishnu. And then there's Shirdakshay Vishnu, who enters even to the atom, much smaller than Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So the avatars come from these forms, primarily from the latter two, primarily from Shirdakshay Vishnu. So all these avatars come from the Pumsams, the Purushas. But Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam. But Krishna is the original supreme form. So Swayam means original, his own. And two, the word two, the Acharyas explain, is actually very significant. It means it's creating a sense of this is a different category though. And it's like if you see you're at the United Nations and you see a limo pull up, a caravan of limos, and all these men come out wearing suits and suitcases, and they come out, and someone says, all these men are important, but that man is the president. Krishna tu Bhagavan. That's the significance that is there. I just published this page, but because I didn't actually, it's not ready yet. It hasn't been edited because this is a cut and paste from the Borjan Prabhu study guide, and sometimes the letters get messed up because it's just kind of trying to read the letters, and if it has diacritics, it gets messed up. So this is what he has to say on this section. So this is, we go to first canto 1112. Let's look at that. Veda base 1112. Sutta janasi bhadram te bhagavan satvatam patihi devatyam vasudevasya jato yasya chikirkshayaha. Okay, let's wait.
Prabhu, are you there? I think you're free. Oh yeah. Okay. Hi. I feel like their connection was not good,
Oh, so I
and
thought it was me. So everybody disappeared?
well, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm here waiting.
yeah, I'm driving, so I thought it was my, I think I dropped first, and then I don't know what
Oh,
happened after that.
here they are.
Okay.
We got kicked out.
I thought it was just me.
You were first, and then I followed.
No.
Okay, let's see. Share screen. Bhagavan. Okay, so there's basically 6 questions that are asked in the first canto, the first chapter. And so there's 3 of those questions have already been answered. Kind of what is the essence of all religion? What is of ultimate value? There are also questions about Krishna's involving himself with this material energy. And now, why does he appear? And so why does he come? To reclaim those. And so here we read this from Bhuijan Prabhu's study guide. The final text of this chapter, Sutta Goswami answers Sanaka Rishi's third question. Why does Sri Krishna descend? Sutta Goswami replies, assuming the roles of incarnations, he performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of goodness. Thus, Sri Krishna comes to attract souls to his eternal abode. And so then he quotes Prabhupada's purport, which we already read, so let's skip that. Srila Goswami's commentary on this verse explains that the specific purpose of Krishna's avatar is mentioned in Kunti's prayers. You appear to rejuvenate. Actually, I think it is in this one of these prayers. They also use the same thing in all mentioning, like you appear in the animal species, the human, and the demigods. You appear in these various forms. You appear to rejuvenate devotional service of hearing and remembering, worshiping, and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs may take advantage and gain liberation. And this is Prabhupada's purport on that verse. Out of his causeless mercy, because he is more merciful to the suffering living entities than they can expect, appears before them and rejuvenates the principles of devotional service, comprised of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshiping, praying, cooperating, and surrendering unto him. Adoption of all the above methods, or any one of them, can help a conditioned soul get out of the tangle of nescience and thus become liberated from all material pangs created by the living being illusioned by external energy. This particular type of mercy is bestowed upon the living being by the Lord in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Another reference to confirming that Krishna personally comes to material to reclaim souls is found in the 10th canto, chapter 8, text 49. So I have to translate all these mistypes here, as they're all from cut and paste. It comes out wrong. Drona and Tara said, please permit us to be born on the planet Earth, so that after our appearance, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller and Master of all planets, will also appear and spread devotional service, the ultimate goal of life, so that those born in this material world may very easily be delivered from the miserable condition of materialistic life by accepting devotional service. Now, Srila Prabhupada's purport to this text says, foolish persons do not know how risky life is if one does not follow the instructions of Krishna. The Krishna comes.
Hare Krishna. I think you froze again. Dana Kay, are you there? Or is
Yeah.
it me? Oh, okay.
I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay. Nityananda Chandra Prabhu, you're freezing up.
But
You're freezing up. Like your screen is not moving and
no. Let
and
me
your
see if I can-
voice, yeah. Okay.
Okay, the kids playing games is messing it up. Sorry. Can you see me?
Yes, now it's good. Thank you, bro.
Okay, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. So Srila Prabhupada is saying here, and this is a purport from the 10th canto, that Krishna consciousness is compulsory. This life is risky. And if you want to get free from the miserable material condition, then you gotta get Krishna conscious. Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study. And then if one understands Bhagavad Gita, one can go to the Bhagavatam. And if one advances further, one may study Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then he says, therefore, we are presenting these invaluable books to the whole world so people can study them and be happy, being delivered from the miserable conditions of life. And that's the end of that. So, any questions so far?
Not yet.
All right. So Krishna appears, and he appears to encourage us to attract the soul back to the spiritual world. He does this so we have beautiful pastimes that we can meditate upon. You know, everyone, even if we're materialistic, if we're completely materialistic, often we find that the things that we do, like Dana K, remember they were saying on the show, like somebody will wait in line to get a pair of $300, $400, $500 Nike Air Jordans, and essentially there's not really the Air Jordans don't do anything to your senses. They don't really like make your feet feel blissful or anything. It's not like you put them on and you feel like the immortal nectar of bliss oozing into your feet. It just feels like you have some shoes on. But it may add to the ego. But one of the things that, other than ego, that the person is trying to get from waiting in line for hours to buy some overly priced shoes is the person wants to be respected and wants to be and if you're respected, maybe he'll have some relationship, some friendship, some honor. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for to connect with somebody. Hold on, 2371. Database. Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela. 23. And what does it say? 71. So we're looking for a relationship. Right, Govinda, what would you say are some qualities of a friend that, like a good friend?
Okay, it has to be kind, I guess humble and loyal.
Nice. Dana K.
Trustworthy,
Trustworthy. Nice.
non-judgmental, accepting, loving.
Nice. Radha Govinda.
I forgot the most important, Krishna conscious.
Krishna conscious. Nice.
How could I forget that?
So I'm going to tell you some qualities of this person, who we want to make a friendship with. So Krishna, he knows how to deal with everyone according to time, person, and country. So he's very expert in individually dealing with everyone. He's very, he has that expertise. He's very forgiving. He's very grave, very deep. He's very calm. He doesn't play favorites. He's equal to all. He's magnanimous, chivalrous, and kind. He's always respectful to respectable people. He's simple. He's giving or liberal. He's humble. He's bashful. He's very happy. He's a linguist of all wonderful languages. So imagine you have a friend that's kind. He's got his personal characteristics. But then this person is like, he can speak 20 languages. You're like, wow. Or he's, this person is, not only can he speak 20 languages, but he's like very, he's a great protector. Or he's very deep. Like you can get in the deepest, most amazing conversations with him. So here I'll read some of the qualities. He's a supreme hero. He has the most beautiful transcendental body. His body possesses all good features. It's radiant and very pleasing to the eye. His body is powerful, strong, and youthful. He is a truthful and very pleasing speaker. He's expert in speaking. So not only he speaks all languages, but he speaks so beautifully. He's very wise, learned, scholar, and a genius. And this is, first of all, how do we see Krishna? Which senses do we see with Krishna first? Radha Govinda.
I guess what was the question again?
What senses, by which senses do we see Krishna first?
I guess with the eyes. Oh, you froze? Hare Krishna. Oh.
Okay.
Philosophy.
Haribo?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I feel like you froze again.
Okay. So we see Krishna first with our ears before we see him with our eyes.
First type of learning is ears, then eyes, then experience, and then the fourth is none, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, so first,
okay.
It comes from hearing. So first, devotee will hear about Krishna. Not only hear about Krishna, they'll hear Krishna's words. So read Bhagavad Gita, like, man, this is intelligent. So the first thing we appreciate is Krishna's his beauty and intelligence by hearing about him. So we read about his very intelligent. He's a well-wisher of his devotees. He's all auspicious, submissive to love, protector of the surrendered souls. He's very influential and famous. I was just meeting, I met this devotee from Australia yesterday, and we're both friends with some famous people. He is friends, we're both friends with Jessica of the band called the Veronicas. And so I asked him, he said, actually, yeah, I do know them. I'm friends with, I've met them. They're very sweet. And he said, my best friend is doing a TV show with them. And I was like, wow, and so it was interesting to have this connection he was visiting from Australia. So it's, if you know someone who's very influential and famous, but they're also very good-hearted, good quality. Just like, can you imagine knowing Krishna? He is also very, very rich, it says here. Like at the Bhakti Center, there was a very wealthy man. Now, how wealthy that came to have a private kirtan concert of Johnny B. Harrison and have a private meeting with Radhanath Swami last year. How wealthy do you think he was?
Multi-millionaire?
He was the wealthiest man of India.
Hare Krishna.
And the 7th wealthiest person of the world. We got a call one day saying, the door code is being changed for today. No one is allowed in the temple. There is a special somebody. It's a private event. And then we found out after. It was like, okay, the wealthiest person the 7th wealthiest person in the world came to the Bhakti Center, went up that slow elevator. Maybe he went up the stairs on it. And he had a kirtan with Johnny B. Harrison. His daughter is a fan of Johnny B. Harrison. And so it's always interesting meeting people like that, a famous person, wealthy person, an intelligent person, a powerful person, a beautiful person, maybe a renounced person, Bhagavan, person who has all these qualities in full. And so when he appears, he attracts us with all these wonderful qualities. Any reflections? Otherwise, we'll go right into practicing our verb. Last question. Go for it. Go for it.
Yes. So, for example, when another person compliments you, like, oh, you are very good at this, you have all these qualities, blah, blah, blah. I mean, a good answer will be, this is just like minimal, like, a image of the qualities of Krishna, or how could you reply to that?
So in chapter 7, Krishna says, Parisham Nishu, eyeing the ability in man. So, like, I might come and scratch my head, but it's actually Krishna who is facilitating it. I simply have some desire, and it's not that we're in a Robotech suit, like we watch the cartoons or inside the big robot.
It's like Men in Black.
Yes, like that little guy in Men in Black. Yeah, the little one inside actually the soul is not the driver of the body. He is the taxi. He is the customer, the one who's just in the Uber. The Krishna is the driver as the super soul, and we are the passenger. Now the passenger says, I want to go here, I want to go there. And the Lord actually facilitates. And depending on our karma and kama, certain things take place. Our desires and what we deserve, certain things take place. Like one devotee was telling me, or he's tells a story how when he was in 6th grade, there was the teacher's pet, the student that was very much favored by the teacher. And this boy was a little proud. And he said, this devotee said he was quite a bully at the time. So this kid was in the mirror and he was like combing his hair and he was practicing his speech because he was going to give a speech for his 6th grade graduation. I mean, he's a small kid. And so the kid went up to the podium and said, today, I would like to, and then he stepped back down and then he went back up to the podium. Today, I would like, and then he stepped back down. And then he came back the 3rd time. Today, I would like, and then he stepped back down and he fell over. And he fell over off the podium. And the devotee got up and clapped. He wasn't a devotee yet. This thing was a bully. And the kid came right next to him with a sad look on his face. And he said, man, I really liked your speech or something. Now, Krishna can, you can have some ability, but that ability comes from Krishna. But he could take it away. Now, while we have it, what is the translation of the word false ego? The literal translation of ahamkara is aham, I, kara, karma, I am the doer. I am doing it. That is what false ego. So Krishna is facilitating. And often we find that when we're good at something, it seems like say if we become really good at music, it's as if we do a lot of austerities, we do a lot of practice. But when we're doing it, it's not like we're thinking the finger goes here, finger goes there, finger goes here, finger goes there. It's just, it's as if like others are taking charge. Like great famous musicians, they'll say like, I'm not the composer, I'm just a secretary. It's coming through. It's coming from somewhere else. It's coming from something higher. And so, all right. Any other reflections, Dana K? Any takeaways? We'll start practicing our verse.
There's such good stuff in today's class. So good.
Could you say it again?
I said it was such good nectar in today's class. There's so many little goodies. I don't know which one to leave.
Krishna is very attractive and sweet. Okay, so let me pull up the verse.
Prabhu, quick question. You mentioned chapter 7 is Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay. And then you mentioned false ego is ahamkara, which means I am the doer.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
And
Such good lecture.
Parusham Nishu, I think that's in chapter 7. Rasaham Apsikunya Prabhasi Shatira Pranavasa Vedeshu Shabdake Parusham Nishu. Rasoham Apsikunte. It's in the Rasoham, I think it's 7.7, 7.8 or something like that. Rasoham Apsikunte Prabhashmi Shatira. I'm the pure taste of water. Rasoham Apsikunte Prabhashmi Shatira. I'm the light of the sun and the moon. Prabhashmi Shatira Pranava. I'm the Om in the Vedas. Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. Shabdake. I'm the sound and ether. And Parisham Rishu. And I have the ability. Amen. All right, so let's go into our verse. Bhavayati. So this is Bhavayati maintains. Bhavayati. Let's see if there's Bhavaya. Evo Bhavaya. Okay, bhavayati. Bhavayati, bhavayatyesha satvena. So you can repeat
Are
it.
we supposed? Yeah, okay. Bhavyayati Shadvena.
Bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayati Satvena.
Yeah. So we can put these two words together. Bhavayatyesha.
Bhavayatyesha.
Because actually, if you look at this, this is bhavayatyesha. Bhavayatyesha.
Okay.
Bhavayatyesha. It's bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayatyesha Satvena.
Bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayatyesha Satvena.
What does loka mean? Radha Govinda Dasi.
Lokan, is it place?
Place, planet. Yeah.
Yay!
Goloka. Satvena. Bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayatyesha Satvena.
Bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayatyesha Satvena.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Loka Bhavanaha.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Loka Bhavanaha.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Lokan Bhavanaha.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Loka Bhavanaha.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Loka Bhavanaha.
Bhavayatyesha satvena.
By Bhavayatyesha Sadvena.
Bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayatyesha Sadvena.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Loka Bhavanaha.
Bhavayatyesha satvena.
Bhavayatyesha Sadvena.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan by Lokan Bhavanaha.
Lila avatar anurato. Lila avatar anurato. Lila avatar anurato.
Lila Avatar Anurato.
Lila avatar anurato.
Lila Avatar Anurato.
Lila avatar anurato.
Lila Avatar Anurato.
Devya tirya naradishu.
Devatirya Naradishu.
Deva tirya naradishu.
Devatirya Naradishu.
Deva tirya naradishu.
Devatirya Naradishu.
Lila avatar anurato.
Lila Avatar Anurato.
Deva tirya naradishu.
Devatirya Naradishu.
What does Nara mean?
Nara. Mine?
What does Narasingha mean? What does Simha
I
mean?
like. Oh, Simha is lion. And Nara, I guess, human.
Yes.
Human lion.
Yes. How about Narada? Do you know what this one? Narada? What is Narada?
Naradas? Or
Narada. Narada.
oh, Narada.
Yeah. Dar.
Human. Dar.
Dar?
No.
What is Dar in
It's like,
Spanish?
oh, Dar is giving.
Yeah, so who gives to humans, his name is Narada. He gives knowledge to humans.
Wow.
Narada.
Okay.
Yeah. Deva is demigods, and Tiryan, Tiryak means the lower species, animals. Let's see, we can find some verses here. Devi Tiryak. Look how many verses here. When the Supreme Lord is pleased by a person's actions, automatically all the demigods, human beings, animals, birds, bees, creepers, trees, grasses, other living entities, beginning with Lord Brahma, are pleased. Be pleased, Krishna. Others are pleased. Devya Tiryan. Another verse. Devya Tiryan. Nri Yonishu. You see that? What does Nrishingha mean?
Well, we just said human lion.
So Narasingha means human lion, and Nrisingha means human lion. Because Nri, you see this Nri right there?
Uh-huh. And R is the abbreviation of Nara?
It's another form of Nara, yeah.
Oh.
So you see Devya Tiryak, the demigods and lower animals, and of the human beings. This is when this verse is from when the soul comes back to Chitraketu. It says, "Who is my mother? Who is my father?" Because he's like, "My son, my son." And he says, "Actually, no one is actually my mother and father. I've been in many Yonishu. I've been in the wombs of many mothers, many species of life." Let's see anything else. Tiryak Janaha. So many different. Animals, serpents, other species. Tiryak, Naga, Kaga, Adaya. So Tiryak is animals, other species, lower animals, Nara, humans, and Adi. Everybody know what Nara means?
So Nara is human.
Tiryan? Tiryak?
Is lower animals.
Deva?
Deva is gods, like demigods, gods.
And this word Anurata. Anurata, assuming the role. Let's see if there's any more use of this word. Anurata. No, that's just attracted. It's kind of different use there. I wonder if it is related, because it talks, and Prabhupada says that the point is for us to become attracted. I wonder if it's connected. Bhavityesha satvena.
Bhavityesha satvena.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lokan vai loka bhavanaha.
Lila avatara nurato.
Lila avatara nurato.
Devya tiryan naradishu.
Deva tiryan naradishu.
Okay, can you recite it yourself?
Okay. Bhavayatare satvena.
Bhavityesha satvena.
Bhavatyesha satvena.
Bhavityesha satvena.
Bhavatyesha satvena.
Bhavityesha satvena. I'm following you.
Oh! I was following you. We were going in circles forever. Okay.
Can you do it with your eyes closed?
No.
Try the first line. Eyes
Okay.
closed.
Bhavatyesha satvena. Yeah, that I can.
Now the second line.
Lokan vai loka bhavana.
Bhavanaha. Yes. Do the first two lines with the eyes closed.
Okay. Bhavatyesha Sadvena Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha.
You got
Right?
it. Do it again.
Yeah. Okay. Bhavatyesha Sadvena Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha.
Again.
Bhavatyesha Satvena Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha.
One more time.
Bhavatyesha Satvena Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha.
Okay. And then the third line.
Lilavatara Nurato. Right?
Yep.
Lilavatara Nurato.
And then fourth.
Devatirya Naradishu. Okay, Lilavatara Nurato, Devatirya Naradishu. Lilavatara Nurato, Devatirya Naradishu. Okay, Lilavatara Nurato, Devatirya Naradishu. Lilavatara Nurato, Devatirya Naradishu. Okay, yeah. Lilavatara Nurato, Devatirya Naradishu. Yeah, okay. With eyes
Okay. And now
closed, I can do.
put it all together.
Wow, that's harder, Prabhu.
No, you got it. You got it.
Okay. I'm gonna do with eyes first.
Okay.
With eyes open first. Okay.
All right.
Bhavayata Sadvena. Wait. Bhavayat Sadvena. Bhavayatyesa Sadvena. Bhavayatyesa Sadvena. Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha. Liladvatara Nurato. Devatirya Naradisu. Bhavayatyesa Sadvena. Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha. Lilavatara Nurato. Devatirya Naradisu.
Oh man, Carmen said she couldn't get in the link. She couldn't get in the class.
Okay.
No, that's not the right link. What is this? Waiting for the. Oh. I don't know why I didn't have the right link. Okay, keep on going.
Bhagavatyesa Sadvena Lokan Vai Lokan Bhavanaha Lilavatara Nurato Devatirya Naravishnu. Wait, Naravishu.
Naradishu.
Naradishu.
Bhavayatyesha Satvena Lokan Vai Lokabhavanaha Lila Avatara Anurato Devatira Naradishu. Okay, Dana K, you want to give it a shot?
Screen stops. Bhavayati Isha Satvena Lokam Lokam Bhavanaha Dilavatar Norato Devatiryan Naradishu. I'll try.
Your mic's really quiet.
Oh, it might be me. Bhavayati Isha Satvena Lokan Vai Lokabhava Naha Vilavatara Norva Ato Deva Tiryan Naradashu. Did you hear me?
Naradisu.
Naradashu. I tried.
Yeah, I wonder why the link didn't work for Carmen. I didn't notice she was texting me saying, I can't get in.
Bummer.
Yeah.
That's strange. Wonder why.
Mm. All right. So Krishna is coming. Radha, you have your hand up?
Yes, Prabhu. So we're speaking about now in this verse how Krishna comes to, allow his devotees to go back to Godhead, and then we spoke about another verse in the Bhagavad Gita that also says that. Which one is that one?
Or here we can pull it up. That's here. Okay, here. So that's Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. So Krishna is in the 4th chapter. He says, I explain this science to the sun god. Now, previously, I explained this to the sun god, and Arjuna is clarifying. Well, sun god's old, and we're cousins. So how am I understand that you in the beginning of time you explained this to the sun god? You know, how am I to understand that? And so there's Krishna says many births both you and I have. Let me move it to the advanced. Bahume vektitani janmani tava charjuna taniham veda sarvani natvam veda prantapa. So here Krishna's, many times people, different impersonalists are saying, I'm God, we're all God. But Krishna is saying here, this distinction between him and Arjuna. Says, we both have appeared in this world. Actually, Prabhupada writes in a letter that Arjuna never goes back to Godhead. He's always one of Krishna's associates. He's always with Krishna in this material world. He's always with Krishna, but he's always on the road show. He's always on the concert tour, the material world concert tour, the Leela show, Leela concert tour. And I think Kunti is also another one. There's a letter, Prabhupada says, these two devotees are with Krishna constantly. So they're in the spiritual world because they're with Krishna, but they're not in the spiritual world because they're with Krishna always, but in this material world. So what was Arjuna's previous incarnation? Who can tell me?
What do you mean with previous incarnation?
What form did Arjuna previous appear as?
Oh, well, he says that Arjuna was there when he was talking to the sun god, but Arjuna doesn't remember.
But what was the name of that form?
I don't know. I know he was there, but I don't know the name.
They were twins.
They were twins? With whom?
Yeah. Krishna and Arjuna were twins.
Really? Wow.
And they're called Nara, Narayan, Rishi.
Wow.
So Nara his name is man. Arjuna's previous name is man.
Oh, okay. So the important not to have his skin.
Because actually he was created, I think he was created by Brahma. It's in the Padma Purana. It will also be in the Mahabharata. And Vishnu said, who is this man? And Brahma said, because you called him man, his name is man. And he will be your friend. And Karna's previous incarnation is also there. The Karna and Arjuna fought in their previous lives. He was created by, he was called, he had 1,000 shields on his body, like Nivata Kavacha. And he was about to cut off all the shields of his body. He cut off 100 shields and 200 shields and 300 shields. He had all these layers of like mystical shields on his body. And he had one shield left. And then Brahma said, hey, I gave him a benediction that he wouldn't die. Can you not let him die? And then he said, okay, they'll fight, and Nara will kill him in his next life. So Karna was born with a shield on his body. He was born with armor on his body. Golden armor and golden earrings. Whom Indra came, and I think it was Indra came and begged for them. Right in the middle of the battle, he begged for Karna, because Karna was known as being very charitable. He begged Karna, can you donate that armor? And this armor was something he had to rip off of his body. It was part of his body. It's part of his own flesh. So you heard Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva. So Narayan and Nara. You're offering obeisances every morning to these twin sages known as Narayan and Nara. Naram Chaiva, also Nara. So these are twins that appeared, these sages. Actually, they I think Prahlad also fought with these sages because he saw them. There were sages, but they also had like bows and arrows, and he was upset. He's like, why are you guys looking like sages but you have bows and arrows? I think you guys are fakers or something. And then he fought with them, and then he realized, no, these are actually his own dear beloved Lord Nrsimhadev in this form of this rishi and his devotee. This is also in Mahabharata. So many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them. Why can Krishna remember all of them? And why can't we?
Well, Krishna is eternal, right? He was always there. He was not ever born, but we are born. So we only have a limited amount of time here on this planet. And we don't even remember what we had last night for dinner. So how are we going to remember what we had, what kind of body we had or what happened in our previous lifetime.
Yeah. So yeah, when you change your body, there's a forgetfulness that happens. So although I'm unborn, there's a very famous verse, number 6. Although I am unborn, ajo pi son avayatma. Aja. Ja means what? Janma. What does that mean? Janma. Janmashtami?
Birth?
Birth, yes. So what is aja?
Unborn?
Yes, not born. Yes, aja, unborn. Ajopi san avayatma. Avayatma means inexhaustible. Although I'm unborn and my body, myself, does not is inexhaustible, doesn't deteriorate. And although I am Bhutanam Ishwaropi san, I am the Ishwar, the God, or the Lord, of all Bhutas, all beings. Prakritim Shvam Adishtaya. I still appear by my own powers. Atmamaya, by my own magic, my own Shakti, I appear in this world. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Whenever there's a decline of religious practice and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Parichanaya sadhanam, to protect the saintly, to get rid of the miscreants, and as well as to Dharma Samsanartaya, to reestablish what is Dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I appear millennium after millennium. Now, why should we meditate on Krishna, his pastimes, and his birth? Janma karma chame divyam. His birth and his actions are divyam. Janma karma chame divyam. And one who knows this, veti tattvata, in truth, tyakva, upon giving up deha, the body, punarjanma, no more birth. Tyakva deham punarjanma, Naiti mameti sarjana. When they leave this body, they do not take birth again. You just know Krishna. You just meditate. Would you just understand Krishna's appearance? That the nature of Krishna's appearance and activities. If you understand that, you will not take birth again. So, good sign. Vitaraga bhaya krodha. Therefore, being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being absorbed in me, taking refuge in me. Many, many people in the past became purified by knowledge of me. Thus they attain all transcendental love for me. Because Krishna is pure, they became purified by meditating upon me. As everyone surrenders unto me, as everyone approaches me, I respond accordingly. Actually, everyone is everyone is trying to find me ultimately. And I respond. If they're interested really in me, then I respond very heartily. If they're not interested, then they have the cold, calculated experience of material existence. Okay. Fools deride me when I descend in my human-like form. I think that came up also. Where is it? No, that's not here. Okay. Any other questions?
Well, yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
How long did it take you to be so knowledgeable in these subjects? Many years.
I started reading Prabhupada's books in '93, and then I joined the ashram in '99.
Nice.
But if you have teachers like Prahlad and Swami, who are...
I mean, yeah. Yeah. He knows everything by heart, right?
Yeah.
But do you like study like systematically, or you just read and remember?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
And how much time do you spend in studying? A week, for example.
45 minutes a day usually.
Oh, nice. Every day, right?
Every day, hour. But the thing is, if you want to, the best way is you teach.
Well, yes.
That's even people who aren't devotees, they'll say the same thing. If you want to learn something, teach it.
Yes.
So in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, 1st chapter, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, of the three, there's three. There's the person sitting in the class. There's the person asking the questions in the class, and the person who's speaking. He said, the one who's speaking makes the most benefit. So if you want to get the most benefit out of it, start speaking it.
And that was 3:1, verse what?
Oh, that should be 10th canto, chapter 1. I believe that's where it comes from.
10th canto, chapter 1 and verse? We don't know.
I don't know which one.
Okay.
No. So there's three. You have the person just kind of listening in the back of the class. You know, somebody who's like really more invested, asking questions, and the person who's speaking.
Right.
In Dallas, I remember for some years I was giving class on Wednesday nights. This is before we had the Darshan Room program. And every Wednesday night I would give class in the temple room. And oftentimes there was nobody in the temple room. There were the pujaris there on the altar. They could hear. But I would give the class and there was practically nobody, nobody, because what happens is after the arti, there's all the prasadam is available at 7 o'clock. And then my class is at 7 o'clock. So, you got Nityananda's class, or you can eat food.
They go for prasad.
And not starve. But just giving, and I went through the entire Bhagavad Gita. We went through we'd cover maybe about 4 or 5 verses in a class. And in the class, we would cover commentaries by Baladevi Vibhushan, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, and Burijan Prabhu's study guide. And just giving class to nobody, but just giving class was very helpful.
Right.
And so I did that for maybe 5 years, just giving
Mm.
class, with hardly anybody in the temple room. And so
Wow. It worked. It gave good results because you're really good at it. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing all this knowledge and for your association.
Thank you for
Also,
coming.
that
Couldn't have done it without you.
Dana K. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes,
And
I
Dana
love
K.
this so much. And I love your classes too. So good. So good. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. So next week we'll have our final summary. We'll try to pull up some other whatever cool things we can find, and then we'll have a little break, and then we'll see what's next. Maybe
Okay.
Brahma Samhita.
Ooh, those are tough ones.
Yeah, those are tough, but they're super fast, and they're very beautiful. You can really sing them, Chintamani prakarasad mashuko praviksha lakshavritesha surabhir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasra satasam brahmasedyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I have to get in Kishtuba's ear. I want to find out what's happening with the school, and if we can be in, if there's some, if they're ready to start putting things together, because if there's, it takes time to put lessons together. So if I find out, hopefully I'll have something available. I don't know if they're ready yet. But Chintamani is a touchstone. So this is, you see this AirPods, and I have a Chintamani stone here, eraser. So if you have a Chintamani stone, you can rub it on some metal, or you can touch it to the metal, and then the metal turns into gold. That's called a touchstone. So Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. The houses in the spiritual world, they're made with Chintamani stones. Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu Kalpraviksha. And the trees, you see this nice tree behind Radha Govinda. The trees are wish-fulfilling trees. You get anything. Here, I'll give you an example of a wish-fulfilling tree. My wife and I went to an ancient Kalpavriksha tree behind the Jagannath temple in Mayapur. There's a Jagannath temple a few miles from the Mayapur property that's owned by the ISKCON devotees. It was an ancient temple that was given to the devotees. The temple was there for many generations. Actually, the deities were discovered. They were there was a cow dripping milk down on this one spot. They dug and they found these ancient deities of Lord Jagannath. And there's a whole story. They originally came from Puri. And there's a beautiful book that used to be published, and I used to have that book. I think I lent it to somebody, and now it's gone. I don't have it anymore. I don't see it out anymore. It's called Jagannath in Raipur, and it's a story of ancient stories of Lord Jagannath, and it's ancient stories related to that temple, and also modern stories of that temple, like miracles, like this Muslim man that went there. He was blind, and the deities cured his blindness. So there's some really far out stories at that Jagannath temple. So my wife and I, 16 years ago, we went over there, and she prayed at the Kalpraviksha tree for 3 children. And she prayed, not really thinking about what she was praying about, that the pregnancy wouldn't be painful. No. So how does that even happen? So we had planned a whole natural birth, kind of almost like a home birth, but at like a place, not like a hospital birth, but kind of like something in between. And they told her, "Oh, you have some complications. You need to go to the hospital." And I went to the hospital, and they said, "Okay, you need a C-section right now." So there was no pain. she she was laid on the thingy, and then I sat down on the chair, and they were like, okay, here's your baby. And I was like, wait a minute, how can that be my baby? That was too quick. That was a few minutes or something. How did that even happen? And then the second one, of course, and then you have one C-section, and pretty much the rest they want to have a C-section. So the second one was no pain. There's pain after, but the pregnancy wasn't really, like, the giving birth wasn't painful. And then the third one was pre-baked. She was not even. It was somebody else baked the baby for us. It was adopted. So it's just there you go. So that's what happens. Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpraviksha, and then lakshavriteshu surabir abhipalayantam, and there Krishna is tending thousands and millions of surabhi cows. So what's a surabhi cow? What is a surabhi cow? There is a whole story in the Ramayana of an ancient battle and feud that started with one surabhi cow. This was the surabhi cow of Vishishta. There was a king named Vishwamitra, powerful king. He was traveling with his 10,000 soldiers through the forest, and he came across. Let's see if I can tell Carmen if you can. So he came across this hermitage where sages were living, doing yagyas every day for the benefit of the world. They're performing yagya, fire sacrifice, to create auspiciousness for the world. Lokamangalam. Lokamangalam. And so they came across these sages, and the king, he had 10,000 soldiers with him. And the sage of the ashram, Vishishta, who is the ancient sage of the family of Lord Ramachandra, he said, come, we will feed all of you. And the sage, the king said, no, I don't think that's possible. How can you feed all of us? There's so many of us. And we have some of our own supplies, and we have some equipment. He said, no, I will take help of my dear Surabhi. Or if you want to say it in American style, you can say Surabhi. That's how they say in America. But Surabhi. So he watched as this celestial cow produced a 36-course feast that came out of her body, and that created this giant feast that fed 10,000 soldiers. And the king said, he thought to himself, I'm the king. I should have all the nice things. King is supposed to be opulent and powerful. So he told this sage, you should give that cow to me. I want it. I'm the king. I should have that. And he said, I can't. She's under my protection. I can't give her away. We are a team. She helps us in our yagyas. This is creating good fortune to the world. He said, well, if you don't give her to me, then I would take her by force. And he grabbed onto her horn and started dragging her away. And so she started crying and screaming, Vashishta, how can you let him take me like this? I don't want to go with this horrible man. He said, what can I do? I'm a Brahmana. She said, the words of the Brahmana are more strong and more powerful than the arms of the Kshatriya. So immediately, she said, all you have to do is say, is stop. And so the Brahmana said, stop! And immediately the king was pulling, and immediately she could not be budged even an inch. And out of her body came powerful warriors called Ripu warriors. And they came and they fought off all of the king's soldiers who were trying to attack. And they were killing the soldiers. So then the king, he decided, I'll kill this sage. So he sent his 100 sons. And so his 100 sons are coming. And the sage took his staff and like touched it to the ground. And then 99 of the sons are all burnt to ashes. Just one is there. Just ash all around him. And the king left completely disheartened. He said, man, I need to get more powerful. I need to get the astras of the deva. So he did severe austerities to get more and more powerful. He did these austerities, and he got the Shiva Dwara, the weapon of Lord Shiva, the Brahmastra, the weapon of Lord Brahma. He got all these weapons, and he went back to the stage to attack and kill him. And so he started chanting all these mantras and firing them. You know, his mantra-infused weapons. They started manifesting and falling. And then the sage took out his staff like like an ancient wizard. And he just took the staff out, and they just all went. All the weapons just like got sucked up into his staff. And so the king, he said, what is the use of being a king? I need to be a Brahmin. They are more powerful. And so he started to perform severe austerities. And he always had animosity towards Vishishta. And so once this man came to Vishishta and he said, I want to go to the heavenly planets. I want to go to the heavenly planets. He said, okay, I will show you the process by which you can become purified and go to the heavenly planets. He said, no, I don't want to become purified and go to the heavenly planets. I don't want to die and go to the heavenly planets. I want to go to the heavenly planets in this body right now. He's like, you can't do that. You can't go to higher planets in a gross, stinky human body. No. And once Arjuna went to the heavenly planets in an invisible form, and the demigods were like, it smells like there's a human here. Where's the heat? Oh my God, it smells like oh. So you can't go to heavenly planets some profane human form. No, you have to become full of piety and leave this human form behind, and then take birth as a demigod. So you be born in the planets of the demigods. So when Vishwamitra, the great ascetic, heard this, he told the king, I will take you to the heavenly planets with my powers. And this time he had performed severe austerities. You might have known him. He was, I think that he maybe this is later on. So he sent, this king started to float up to the heavens. And the demigods were like very like offended and upset. And said, what's going on? They see this human is without having proper credit, without is floating up to the heavenly planets. He said, this will be a great disaster. It will actually create misfortune. Just his presence in the heavenly planets will create misfortune for the whole worlds. And so using their powers, they started to push him back down. And then it was like this tug of war. He was pushing up and down, up and down. And so then Vishwamitra created his own heavenly abode, his own universe with his powers, with planets and put that man there. He was engaged in austerities, and Indra became, Indra becomes worried when someone performs austerities. So he often sends heavenly damsels to intervene, to destroy the continued austerities of a yogi, because he doesn't want to lose his job of being Indra. Someone has higher punya, higher credit, then someone has higher credit, then they will attain that position. So he sent Menaka, beautiful heavenly society girl. So she appeared there, and he was in meditation, deep meditation, but the sound of her bangles entered his ears, and there's this feminine Shakti that was imbued with that sound, and it woke him up, and he had a relationship with Menaka, and the famous beauty Shakuntala was born. But that was after 60,000 years of meditation had been wasted. Now he has to start again. So now again he's engaged in meditation, and then Indra sends another heavenly damsel after 60,000 years. And after 60,000 years, he's doing his meditation, and he opens his eyes, and he sees this damsel, and instead of being filled with lust, now he's filled with anger. And he burns her to ashes with his eyes. But again, he's got to start up. He again burned away all of his piety and austerity. Again, he had to start again. So it's said that after 180,000 years, he finally got Brahman initiation.
You froze again. No. Such an interesting story. Uh-huh.
Am I frozen still?
Okay, now you're good.
Okay.
So you can hear me.
Yes. So after 180,000 years. Okay, hold on. Ramananda. Ramananda. Okay. He said, after 180,000 years, so Radha Govinda just got her Brahman initiation. No? Not yet. Maybe next year.
I wish. I mean, when is Maharaj coming back? Do you know?
Okay, so after 180,000 years, you take a Brahman initiation.
Okay, no problem.
So in ISKCON, it's very easy nowadays, It's just, but imagine 180,000 years. Actually, he eventually became a Brahmin when he gave up his envy of Vishishta. And so who taught Lord Ram the weapons? Vishwamitra Muni, this sage. He is the one that came and told Dasrath, give me your son. I need him to kill 2 demons that are harassing us. I cannot kill these. I could kill these demons, but I can't, because that's not my duty, and we're performing this yajna. And Dasrath was like, no, I cannot part with my son, and he's just only 15, 16. I will go. And he said, but you promised me you would give your whatever I asked, and now you're going back on your promise. And he was in such anxiety. He said, I cannot live with. And then Vishishta appeared. He said, no, this is a blessing. This Vishwamitra Muni, he will teach your son so many great astras. He is very powerful. They're completely protected in his presence. And he will, and that's also how Ram got Sita, was with Vishwamitra Muni. Mr. Muni brought him to the palace of Janak. You know? So this is what do you call it? So that's all. That whole scenario started with what? One Surabhi cow. So Lakshavriteshu Surabhir Abhipalayantam. And Krishna is, what is Krishna doing? He's taking care of millions of Surabhi cows. The whole battle, whole drama, all this for one. You know? And Lakshavriteshu Surabhir Abhipalayantam. Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambrahma Sevyamanam. And Lakshmi is there. Millions of Lakshmis are there, trying to serve Krishna in the form of gopis. And in this world, just one Lakshmi, everyone is begging for her glance. But millions of theirs are serving him with great servitude. Sedyamano. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. This is the Lord whom I worship, Brahma says. All right. So that's a little Brahma Samhita sample. That's one verse. So much juice, so much nectar in there. One verse.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. That's my word. Wow.
I won't go into it, but I'll tell you, there's one verse that says, inside the atom is Lord Vishnu. And inside Lord Vishnu are billions of universes full of atoms. Wait, just keep on going inside forever. All right, we'll stop here. Oh, stop. Thanks a lot. You had your hand up?
Yes, Prabhu. So, do you have class next Saturday?
Next Saturday is Philadelphia Rath Yatra.
Okay, good. You're gonna be there, right?
Yes, and then we'll go
Good.
to the next one after.
Okay, good. I'll see you in Philadelphia then.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Woohoo.
Thank you.
Great class.
Both of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank
My
you,
obeisances.
Hare
Hare Krishna.